92.7 WOBM, Sean and Sue with you on this Tuesday morning. It is the 6th of February, and Sean and Sue are joined today by Dr. Renato Apolito, a cardiologist with Hackensack Meridian Health's Cardiovascular Network, to talk about heart health. And, of course, February is Heart Month. Good morning, Doctor.
Hi, Doctor.
Good morning, everybody.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
February's Heart Month, but why should listeners take, serious when it comes to their heart health all year round, not just this month?
Well, unfortunately, despite advances, cardiac illness is still the leading cause of death among men and women, and obviously it doesn't take time off. So although we call attention to it this month of the year, it clearly is always an issue 12 months of the year, so we should be very attentive to it.
Now, we talk about men and women and heart disease. How are things different for the sexes when it comes to dealing with heart disease or the prevalence of heart disease?
Well, I think classically, early on in our experience many years ago, we paid more attention to men, but we've learned that it affects both sexes equally. Men typically get heart disease somewhat earlier in life, but women catch up pretty quickly after menopause, and things get pretty equal once we hit middle age and beyond. So we should clearly pay attention to symptoms on both sides.
Okay, and what are some of those symptoms? Can we talk about them?
Absolutely. So some of them are classic. You probably know already. Chest tightness, chest pressure. If it radiates to the arm, the neck, the left arm specifically. Those are classic textbook symptoms, especially if they occur with exertion and then they go away when you rest. That's something to take note of for sure and see a doctor. But sometimes it could be pretty subtle, especially in diabetics or women. They may just get heartburn, like an epigastric, sort of above the stomach, just below the chest bone, a burning, a nausea, a sweating, either at rest or with exertion. It may just be shortness of breath that has become worsened over the last several months with the same amount of exertion. So all these things you have to pay attention to.
Okay.
Now, is there particular ages? Now, you mentioned middle age. Is that sort of like the buffer age group when you start to look and deal with being more
Sean.
conscious
You
of
and
your
me,
heart?
middle age.
Yeah.
Well, clearly it can affect all ages. I've seen patients as young as 19 with heart disease, although that's rare, thank God. But typically, I'd say once you get into your 30s, men are very fair game, 40s, 50s, obviously. But, obviously in the 50s and 60s, the prevalence of heart disease really starts to climb, especially in both sexes, starts to really equalize pretty quickly. And I don't want to make it sound as if, you can take your eyes off the road at a very young age. You should always be attentive to the symptoms, recognize it can affect all ages and both sexes, but clearly the prevalence does increase with age.
And how can we keep our hearts healthy? What's the best way? Hereditary, does that play into it as well? Genes?
Yes, I mean, there's definitely a factor where familial history, if you're surrounded by a family with a significant premature early heart disease, that will increase your risk clearly. But I think paying attention to the stuff we all know, I think that's important. If you have bad habits like smoking, you should stop. There really is no safe dose that you can get away with. You should eat a heart-healthy diet. I think the simplest thing, you should forget these fad diets really and just try to live by a non-processed diet. If it grows on a tree or if it comes from a farm, you probably will be much better off than eating some health snack bar that they tout as being healthy, because if you look at the label of that processed stuff, there's a lot of bad stuff on the back.
Okay.
10 to 20 minutes of cardiovascular exercise 5 times a week is beneficial. That means treadmill, stationary bike, or a regular bike.
5 times? Oh, I
5
thought you
times a
meant
week.
5 minutes a week.
No.
I'm like, wow.
10 to 20 minutes,
That's
5
excellent
times
for
a
me.
week.
Yeah.
But any amount helps. It's been shown that even a little dose of exercise will be better than none. You know,
Just getting in that little extra walk, or maybe using the stairs at work and things like that.
Easy to do. Park the car far away. Walk to where you got to go. Use the stairs all day long. No reason not to. And maintaining a healthy weight, that absolutely falls in line with what we just said. A healthy diet and exercise will maintain that weight. And weight is a factor because it does lead to sleep apnea, diabetes, and high cholesterol and other high blood pressure. So those things are cardiac risk factors. So if you can eliminate your weight as a risk factor, the other things fall in line.
I just checked my heart rate, 79 while I'm sitting here. Is that pretty decent?
I guess I'm a fairly exciting guy. You know? Not so bad.
That's
though.
a little up, a little up.
How do you check your heart rate?
My watch.
So if I ever need that, you can check it for me? Oh,
No.
that's neat.
No.
What do you mean your watch checks your heart rate?
Well, yeah, it's keeping my pulse on
Did
my
you know
wrist.
that, doctor, that some watches do that?
I think, yeah, they have these really newfangled devices that do a lot of different
Yeah,
things.
and it can't check
It
yours,
would
Sue.
just make my heart race,
It
this
can't
technology.
check yours. You're not wearing it.
That's right. You'd have to borrow it.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd have to put my watch on.
That's right. Okay. That's true. Duh. I wasn't even thinking. Sorry, doctor.
We're talking with Dr. Renato Apolito, who has heard of some of these newfangled devices, Sue. How do we get more information about heart health, doctor?
Well, I think you can visit the website. We have a fairly comprehensive website that can help you learn about how to stay healthy. There's recipes. It will also put you in touch with cardiovascular specialists should you want to visit one. And that website is hackensackmeridianhealth.org/HMH. You can Google it, I'm sure, and get it pretty quickly.
You know,
Very
doctor,
good.
this is just something I have to say. Do patients ever tell you, because you're sitting next to me now, I have a pain in my arm? Do people ever tell you that, like, just talking to you? Do you, like, do they
Yes.
get pains? Do I have an issue?
Yeah, we
Like,
hear
you know what I mean?
Psychosomatic?
Yeah, like,
Well, we hear it all, and we take nothing for granted. We take it all very serious. It's like calling a fire department about smoke coming out of a window. We really can't dismiss these things. So if someone does have some symptoms that are concerning, we do test them.
Okay.
And take a look. I think it's.
Do you need to borrow my
important.
watch?
Yeah.
I think I better give her my watch.
so
Don't tell the heart doctor I got pains going down my arm. He just got done telling you that's the biggest symptom, Sue. All right, well, maybe we'll have a check you out here and see what's going on there after we get done. Doctor, thanks for being with us today.
you.
Don't forget the website to go to is hackensackmeridianhealth.org/HMH for more details about heart health. And, of course, February being Heart Month, and we'll get
Definitely.
more details there. Let's head out to the highways right now. And we've got Susie Cerrone in.
Hey,
we're gonna
Susie.
We're gonna get Sue some medical attention here,
Yeah,
Susie,
so
while you give the traffic.
interesting.
so.
It is
The doctor
interesting.
was so interesting. But you know what? I have low blood pressure.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's why I'm always cold. I
Doctor,
can't
our
warm
traffic lady has low blood pressure.
That's a great thing, actually.
Oh, that's a
like
great
having
thing.
too much money in the bank. You know, it's actually a very
Can I have the money in the bank instead?
can't help you there.
My blood pressure is always low. In fact, last time I got checked, the nurse said, "Are you dizzy?" 'Cause I guess you get
Yeah,
dizzy a little
right?
bit if you have low blood pressure, but
But it doesn't put strain on the heart, right?
No, it's actually a good prognosticator. Stay hydrated.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go get a glass of water. Sue.
Susie, keep drinking.
I will.